Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And it's me, Amabel.
legally distinct from any other character that you might be thinking of at this moment. And welcome back to Blueprints, where we just confirmed that you do not actually have to step into the sauna to get the benefit of the sauna. I was pretty sure that was the case, but now we know. Alright, so we're definitely looking forward to pulling libraries today. We also have just a huge number of steps to begin this run with.
I like to pull 3 libraries today.
Okay.
That's what I would like.
Hmm.
Ooh.
So Shrine versus
23 coin shrine sounds pretty good.
yeah, maybe. All right, fine. I was gonna schoolhouse maybe Is there a limit? All right, 23 coins. What do we get? The Blessing of the Tinkerer. Whenever you draft a mechanical room, trigger your current experiment. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
That could be interesting.
Now we'll never draft any rooms with computers
Yeah.
for the next 4 days. And never. Yeah. Or any mechanical rooms for that matter. Just.
Well, may as well get that book requisitioned early on here. Can't imagine a reason to take anything other than library. And we all know what you want.
Yes.
All right. I do. That's the one I would have gone for first as well, to be clear.
I'm hoping it's as good as Swimbird.
Terrace this early, right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably pretty compelling. Doesn't look like there's anything else going on here. That's fine. Okay. Well, we better get an experiment going, and we can turn the keycard frequency way up.
Right, because we have a. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we probably want it. Whatever it is, we want to permanently add 1 gold to your allowance, right?
Yeah.
So that we get that. We pull that a bunch of times. The next 3 times you open a locked trunk. I feel like this is it, right?
Yeah.
So we'll get this now every time we draft a mechanical room, which is cool. Oh my god, blueprints. Love to blueprints. Alright, let's Blackbridge ourselves over to here. And key cards. Let's turn that shit all the way up. And then we may as well change the offline mode, even though it doesn't really matter when you have a key card. Okay. So that's some valuable setup at the very least.
Already this run's going better than
Hey, free battery pack.
the last run did.
Okay, secret passage pointing there. I mean, right?
All right, yeah, and then let's try
I still want
to.
Yeah, I still want to try this thing. Please don't dead end me. Okay, well, tunnel gets us through at least.
Yeah.
And then we hope to draw something else. I mean, playing the boiler room gets us an allowance, which I don't hate. But we maybe want to hold off on actually opening that because gems.
Okay.
The hallway's not bad here.
Yeah, always good.
Ah. All right, observatory is facing the wrong way.
I guess it's pantry.
You guess it's pantry? I mean, all right.
You want the gymnasium? Lose 2
Well,
steps?
like, what if the foundation doesn't, like, I'd like the
Oh, all right.
reinforcement of the doors, but, and we have a lot of steps
Oh,
today, right? But the pantry
That's
does,
true.
the pantry does have benefits. I'm going to take the gymnasium. And hopefully we won't need to use it a bunch. I mean, right? This is like exactly the kind of spot you want your coat checking room to be in.
Before you go in.
Well, too late. You gotta say stuff way faster.
I'm sorry. I thought it was obvious to you that you don't want to be re-entering this and losing 2 more steps, and then.
What did you think we were gonna shout at the coat check room really loudly until it gave us the hammer?
Oh, right, because never mind. There's no door. The cortex a dead end. Look,
This isn't a terrible place for a conference room.
I'm not a brain genius like you.
But your powers of condescension are those of a brain genius, which is itself pretty impressive.
No, those powers are more like the powers of a glass pitcher.
How so?
Because the vapor gets on my sides. Powers of my condensation.
I'm not sure. Is this a bit? Are we going to a what?
Gems parlor.
Yeah, we gotta take the parlor for sure. I don't think I mind. I think the pump room's kind of just like in the right state now. Like we don't really need to draw it anymore.
Because condensation is what forms when the water evaporates.
I know what condensation is, Amabel. That's not the part of that doesn't make sense. A box that displays the word true is false. A box that displays the word gems is empty. The white box is true and does not contain gems. Okay. So we have 2 boxes that have the word true on them, right? If they're both false, then this is true, meaning that the gems are in the blue box.
But if that is true, then wait, that is right, because then, okay, I follow.
Right, that all holds logically, I believe.
Yeah. Well, hang on.
Okay, Amabel, for the love of Christ. Well, hang on.
Yeah,
after I have clicked is not a useful thing to.
Black box. You go look at the black box.
Yeah.
The white box is true and does not contain gems. If that box is false, then one of those 2 statements need to be untrue. I didn't think about it until.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least this way the puzzles will get easier again.
No, there's no reason to think that.
It happened last time.
You're absolutely killing me with your hang on 10 seconds after the event. Like,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do it as fast as I can.
You know what? You're playing from now on. That's what we're gonna do.
That.
Boy. We're having a hell of a time generating gems. I really needed to not get that wrong. Spare green room has a gem on the table like more than half the time, I would say.
Okay.
Not right now, obviously. Okay, the den. This is the latest we've ever seen the den, I think. but I think it's quite welcome. Of course, the south door is locked. Break room is a must take, I think.
Okay.
It's so weird that there's no food. Like, the break room has coffee, but no bananas or anything. Right? It makes sense to me that there would be food in the break room. All right. 4 plus 1 is 5, squared again to 25 minus 20. 3 squared is 9, plus 1 is 10, and then squared again is to 100. Divided by 20 is 5, divided by 5 is 1. Okay, so we got a 15 minus 20 is negative 5, squared to 25. Minus 20 is 5, squared to it's 5. It's a lot of making the numbers repeat themselves. They're weird puzzles.
Yeah. I would say my least favorite of the two kinds of puzzles we've been getting.
Do I want to push further north? I kind of want to... I want to head this way first. I know there's a locked door here, but usually we can get resources in this direction without needing so much stuff. I don't think we want to pull dark room. The chapel is low cost. We don't have any coins right now, and we're not likely to...
Yeah.
Right? And do we get anything? We do not seem to get anything. Boy. Okay, this is rank 5. Like, calm down, video game. I guess I'm going to do this one. So what happens when you no longer have to pay gems for green rooms is you completely stop drawing green rooms. They don't exist anymore. Okay, door is not locked.
That's a shame.
I mean, I just want a green, right? Like, there's so many good green rooms we could pull. And we just won't.
Hey, we'll be able to double our gems.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna accept a dead end here and at least like look inside. Is there anything new? Nope. Fire thing. Okay. I want that. We definitely do want to buy that axe. We want to keep rolling the armory until we're allowed to axe some rooms a bit.
We also want to get that fire thing so we can
definitely gonna redraw
go to the
again.
den.
Okay, veranda. Veranda's not horrible here.
Okay. Metal detector.
Yep. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. I was seeing a discoloration on the tile there and desperately hoping it was a key. Okay. The gallery has a nice like smattering of rewards, right? I think I like gallery. Yeah. Well,
yeah, no, I think gallery's where
yeah,
to go.
You're right.
I know we're gonna dead end, but
well, yeah, we'll have plenty of we'll have plenty of resources, plenty of steps to get around and try the boiler room, right? The dining room, we didn't quite make it to 8. It's not horrible to take her ladyship's chamber here, actually.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, a safety deposit box key. I'm still pretty annoyed about the deposit box key thing. Like, they're just like they're very low incidence items that appear randomly that you have to pull an extremely rare room to take advantage of. It's just like it is everything that is wrong with Blueprints in big capital letters.
So we're in episode 22 now. So we've been playing this for, I don't know, conservatively 35 hours.
Mm-hmm.
How are you enjoying Blueprints?
I mean, I think I don't know that I've been particularly mysterious about this.
Are you having fun doing this with me?
I am enjoying working on the mysteries when we are allowed to. And I do think that the other stuff that is just in the way of the mysteries sucks very badly. I think they chose maybe the worst possible way. Not the worst possible way. Like, here's the problem. The thing that they chose to do here works kind of just well enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can mostly muddle through the bad luck and the things like the deposit key type designs. All right, we have some gems here. Hopefully we'll be able to draft just something that faces in that direction. Okay, yeah. So passageway, I guess. This at least gives us the ability to maybe pull something else. And was that a bunch of wasted effort? Okay, I know this is meaningful, but also it is very funny that it just says door on the back of the door. So this is letters that plug into the letter block in the chess piece room, right?
Is it?
In a perhaps not obvious way, because it's only 4 lines tall, so we don't know exactly where it fits, but we can just look at what is spelled, right?
Yeah.
So castle, it's gonna be the OR is a little weird. It is weird because we don't know if it's the letter puzzle that occurs on the map with the sketches doesn't have any words. It breaks really cleanly at the edges of the lines. I'm guessing that this word puzzle doesn't, based on this, because this is giving us EOR, LOR, or SOR as a line, right?
Okay. Well, I don't...
Assuming that this block of letters just lays on the puzzle, and we're not supposed to scramble it or invert it or anything, but I would think so. Right?
Okay.
I actually can't open it from this side, which is kind of whack. Like, you would think, why would you not be able to open it from this side? All right, whatever. And that's the end of that. Closet, hope for a key. Do not get a key. Okay, well. The door in the break room is locked, so that's the end of the run.
All right.
I mean, we learned a thing. We got a book requested. I honestly think a fast run that gets us a book is fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. It's kind of what we wanted, actually.
Hang on. So we have 7 coins.
Yeah.
Is that enough to buy the fire thing?
No.
Damn.
No, I think it's 8. I'm not 1,000% on that. We certainly have the steps, so we're going to try to end the day up there anyway for the key card. So we may as well run over there and double check. But I think it was also 8. I think it and the Morning Star are both 8. Let's go find out. Yep, and steps did not end up mattering very much. Sadly. Yes. Also, sadly, we do have to go through the chapel on the way there, so. Right, this was... Yeah, this was also 8. The shield was also 8.
Okay.
Everything's 8 except for the axe, which is a lot more expensive because it's, like, rad. Where am I going? This is not the direction. It's on the other side of the den. Yeah, not a strong one. But we got that book ordered, and that is going to turn out to be fun, I hope. Smash the door with your fucking mace. Everything in this house is magic. All right. Call it a day. And we got to take a very, very small amount of advantage of that that blessing, the shrine blessing, and now we'll carry it over to tomorrow and maybe be able to take better advantage of it. It is nice to start with a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Day 44. I suppose we should start seeding the well again. Creating a bank of coins that could be potentially used later.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got today? Well, we're a little item short, so Toolshed's actually like pretty...
Toolshed's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, Toolshed's I think pretty solid.
All right, melt detector and... Okay, do you want to just go bust up some chests first?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that real quick. I do wish we had that sauna effect today instead of yesterday, but what are you gonna do? Okay, and then I'm curious if there's actually going to be anything of value or if all of the chests are just going to be note cards that are part of the logic puzzle leading you to the sanctum key.
Yeah,
I will say that I do think this is kind of... Oh, they stay open from day to day. That's interesting. I will say that this kind of feels a little bit like blueprints in a sort of microclasm. Oh, wait a minute. Sledgehammer doesn't open these. Well, now we know that.
The lock is different.
Yeah, because they're not padlocked. This is sort of like the game in Microcosm though, where it's like we put together all this elaborate nonsense, and then like the most obvious answer is the correct answer, and also it's a huge pain in the ass to get here, and you have to get lucky and draw these rooms in a perfect alignment a couple of times, and like as a puzzle itself, it's kind of just disappointing.
Yeah.
That's where Blueprints has been so far, and it's pulling me along with puzzles that promise more and more interesting stuff, right? Like the finally reaching room 46 for the first time is absolutely like a wet fart. Especially given that they don't actually let you enter the room the first time. And so part of me is a little bit thinking we're going to put all this stuff together and it's not going to be interesting or worth the trouble at all. Like,
or it will be insane, or it will be, you open all the sanctums, you get all the stuff, and your mom's been living in the walls the whole time.
What I wouldn't give to have the confidence that this developer is willing to go to a weird place. There is only one true statement. The gems are in a box with a false statement. There are 2 true statements. Okay. Let me slow down a little bit. So one of those 2 is false.
Mm-hmm.
The gems are in a box with a false statement. And that is the only indicator of the gem's position.
So this has to be true.
Or this is false and so is one other box, right? So there's only one true box.
But then would that allow us to determine which one has the gems?
Yeah, the true box. Right? If this is false.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Right.
So in that case, it's like this is false and this is false. Necessarily. This is true and the gems are in this box.
Okay.
And that all holds logically? Right?
Yeah.
It felt to me like the last one did too, so.
Yeah. Now if that one's true and white is true, then blue is false and has the
blue's
gems
false
in
and
it
has
as
the
well.
gems in it. Yeah. This is the gem box, no matter which way it resolves. Okay, book time. Who's ready for a story? All right, the library door is even facing the correct direction. What luck. A New Clue by Marion Marigold. We are the first borrower. This book was graciously gifted by Simon P. Jones. All he needed was to find a new clue. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. If he knew what to do, he'd likely tell you, for you are looking for a new clue too.
That should be more than one sentence.
What? He had retraced his sketches and studied the files, reviewed all his cases and gone through the piles of the evidence present and precedents evident, and retraced his steps as it stretched on for miles.
Okay,
That's cute. Corner cases, parlor, patio, nook, office, library, pantry. Dead cases, lavatory. Usually I can read upside down, but the combination of the sort of like the angle and everything is kind of making it difficult. I think I wish I had a magnifying glass. He had looked high and low in all of the rooms. He had searched every corner in each of the tombs. In this particular case, he had checked every space. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. Perhaps keep left. He looked and he looked under beds and in nooks. He questioned the maids. He questioned the cooks. It was already over when he spoke to the chauffeur, who told him new clues were found only in books. So tome after tome that the library loaned, and the books that he had that he already owned, were searched from their covers all the way through. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. Here we have a road sign pointing right. Tender cipher, Luna renamed, draft the sixes. Boy, it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on in this book. He changed all the letters in the lines that he found. He checked all the colors of the spines that were bound. He doubled the meaning of each seasonal greeting and found that the diction of each word was sound. Lore is word, jor is name. Oh, maybe the stuff written in the castle poem, or the chess piece poem, is in another language or something.
Okay.
LOR equals word means that it is probable that that's how those line up. The bottom line of that is the fifth line of the. That's very interesting.
Okay.
Draft the sixes, shifted extras. Something the fixed.
The Fixed Stars, name of the book
Yeah, the
with
fixed
the stars.
Right. Gates, Mary. He stayed up all night and studied the maps. He laid out the floor plans and measured the gaps. And if his directory was considered a trajectory, it was nothing short of a full mental lapse. Meter's tough, Listen, a lot of people.
I'm digging it though. I'm actually digging this one.
A man obsessed and cuckoo too, they would say as he would wander through. The best medicine is not yet evidence. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. Yeah, I'm digging it too, when it bothers to get its meter right. And having read this book so many times, having scoured over each of its cryptic lines, have you exhausted your search? Have you seen, Amabel, all the signs? Like, stop. And there's definitely important text here. We got to get a magnifying glass. Or is there perhaps something new, something overlooked but now in view? Have you finally found it? Could it really be true? If it's a new clue, you know what to do. The suspect is minor. Interesting. Yeah, we need a magnifying glass, but that seemed rich with stuff. Hey, Amabel, you want to maybe
Yeah, no, I
contribute?
agree.
Or...
I'm absorbing it
Okay,
all,
all right.
and I'm really just appreciating the evidence is present and precedence is evident. That's that I like how all three children's books
Mm-hmm.
have been different kinds of children's books, and I think they get the voice of that really right in a way that is remarkably different from the other writing in the game, which I found pretty underwhelming. But the children's book stuff, they get very right. And maybe it's just because, I worked in a library for several years. So I did read a lot of children's books. So like I have an appreciation for the different kind of styles with picture books, the different ways they're written and whatnot, and like a lot of it feels right and charms and provides pleasure. Someone asked in one of the comments at this point, like months ago, but at the point that we're recording a couple days ago, like why? What do you mean the writing's bad? And if I had to sum it up, is that the writing does not give pleasure, but the children's books do. Swinburne gives pleasure. The Red Prince, that's fine. This one I enjoyed as well, and I would like to come back to that with a magnifying glass.
Well, here's hoping we find a commissary or one sitting around somewhere, or something.
And we could also end up finding one in a closet or walk-in closet,
Yeah,
possibly.
this seems like an okay time for this. Conference room keeps trying to come out of the deck, but I'm trying to be careful with it.
Have I contributed accordingly?
I don't want to take a music room this early, right? Like,
Smash stuff in the lavatory.
I don't. There's not going to be anything to smash. It's not really how the game works. I feel like.
How the game? There has never been a room that has nothing, except for the lavatory, and it's weird. It's conspicuously weird.
I mean, it's not that weird. It's red. Like the red rooms are bad, right? That's.
Yeah, but that one's not even bad. It's just there.
A dead end that has no value is definitely bad.
Swimbird. I mean, you're right. You're right. I understand what you're saying. It's just, I expect the room to be shittier.
All right, what are we looking at today? Stuffed wild quail, bacon and eggs.
Have we seen the morning room?
I don't think so. But we're trying to.
We're trying to.
I'm giving it my level best. I probably want to save the boiler room. Ah, this sucks.
Closet.
All right.
Maybe there'll be a magnifying glass. Or not, but you know, it's worth a try.
So, drawing room's not horrible. I don't like the fact that all of these don't turn north, but, with the drawing room, we can try to draft something that turns north off of its side here. Which, of course, is locked, because why wouldn't it be locked? I'm redrawing
Yeah, I'd
these.
redraw. Yeah.
Well, the office is kind of interesting. Like, we can put down... We can put down rooms off of the foundation. All right, Amabel, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get up real quick.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, and you're going to entertain the folks. Make a decision.
Okay.
Tell me what it is when I come back.
Okay. Well, the decision is the office is what we're doing. So entertain the folks. Let me tell you more about children's books. Let me tell you about one of my favorite children's books. One which I feel is of a piece with a new clue. In that it emphasizes like verbal playfulness, and it is Arlene Sardine. Arlene Sardine is a children's book by Chris Roshka, picture book. It only got one printing as far as I'm aware. And it is about a little fish, a little brisling, that wants to be a sardine, wants to be killed and cooked and smoked and be put in a sardine can. And halfway through the book, she does die, and then it describes in a very playful way the process in which her little fish body is turned into an edible sardine. There's this really great passage where it describes the smoking of the sardines, and it says, "She was smoked delicately. She was delicately smoked. Delicately smoked was she." And there's such a rhythm to that is really kind of hypnotic. And from what I've heard, is that there are kids who really love this book, and their parents just hate it because it's about a fish dying and wanting to die, and that's a bit morbid, isn't it? But I think as a book that engages with mortality, that engages with the reality of death, which I think is a thing that kids should be prepared for. You don't want to lie to kids and tell them that your dog is running around upstate or something. I think the book really is a really playful way to do that. And from what I've heard, kids just kind of eat it up. I mean, kids are kind of morbid anyway. If you look at like the Wizard of Oz, the Tin Woodsman just chops off heads left and right, and kids giggle like little maniacs when that happens. So that is why I think Arlene Sardine, excuse me, I am still fighting this cough, these allergies or something. I don't know. That's why I think Arlene Sardine is like a really a wonderful children's book, and again, it's never been reprinted as far as I'm aware. Like there, and I had to get my copy used. Like a lot of Rashka's books tend to be consistently in print, but that just is not true for Arlene Sardine. And it's weird. That's weird. I guess it's because of the kind of morbid subject matter. Because his other books are frequently in print. Um, and that's I guess that's me telling you about that book. I guess next time that she leaves me alone to entertain people while she's off doing whatever, can't pause the recording. I'll tell you about The Three Robbers, which is another like really great children's book with a lot of like kind of a sense of darkness to it, a sense of menace and mystery, and it's such a delight. And the illustrations are done with this really very specific color palette with like really dark blacks and blues and these flashes of red and yellow, and it just makes it for a really absorbing book. We're going to the office. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, sorry. Wasn't my yeah. Just body not being good. Okay. To the office. Well, let's get an experiment running, for one thing.
Yeah, and let's try to figure out what's going on in this office.
All right, payroll has been run. Throw some coins into the conference room. Oops, not that. Also, log into network. Let's get an experiment running so that our blessing can actually do something for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remote the laboratory. So many little menus to load, so many buttons to click. Over and over and over. Over and over and over. Alright. We again have the ability to permanently add 1 gold to the allowance, and I do feel like we should probably do that. You think spend 2 or more gems drafting, or whenever you draft a shop room?
2 or more gems drafting, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Okay. So my theory again remains that somewhere in this office there is the clue for the March of the
Yeah,
Count.
what about if March of the Count is referring to the month of March?
Okay. Of the count.
Of the count.
What are we counting?
Is one of the men represented by a bust in here a count? It's been a minute since we were in that room that introduces them all, so I don't remember. But it could be that, right? It could be. In total, there are 1, 2. What is that? It's not a bust in any case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, let's try March 9th.
Okay. Nope. I'm going to just do a little bit of brute force. I'm not going to go the whole month, but it's easy enough to guess all of the numbers up to the value we just got. Yeah, because I think it's probably the number of busts in this room that are the count, that are the guy who is a count, and I just don't remember which person has which title, because who could possibly give a shit? Dear Mr. Sinclair, thank you for promptly answering all our demands, not involving the police, and allowing this unfortunate transaction to transpire as smoothly as one could hope. And while I'm guessing you had hoped to never hear from us again once we had given you back the envelope, we felt that one final red letter of our own was merited given the circumstances, and this is indeed red letter number 8. Hopefully you will not be as careless with this missive as you were with the others. Correspondence this incriminating should be kept in safes, not desk drawers. Let's first put your apprehensions aside, as I'm sure another red envelope is the last thing you expected to find on your desk this week. No, we are not making more demands, and no, we do not have copies of the other letters. You are already more than generous and accommodating, and the least we can do is fulfill our end of the bargain. So why write to you at all? Why incriminate ourselves further if we already have what we want? In a word, principles. After reading your eloquent reply to our initial note, it became apparent to us that there had been a few misunderstandings. This letter is intended to clarify some of those points, and hopefully will place our schemes in a softer light. First, we may have gotten too excited with the colorful language of blackmail, but our goal was never to terrorize. Despite what you may believe you interpreted as thinly veiled threats toward your young nephew, I want to personally assure you there was never any tangible danger. Heck of a thing to say after the fact. If we gave any impression we would hurt the youngster, it was meant only in the very vague sense of hurting his social prospects. And yes, while we admit that our word choices might be questionable, enough so that it would be reasonable to accuse us of being intentionally misleading, we hope you believe us when we tell you that this was not a calculated ploy to elicit payment. However, as payment has been received, there is nothing to be gained by scrutinizing the questionable ethics that were employed in our extortion of those funds. Little defense can be mustered on that score. Additionally, any judgmental tone you may have detected when we discussed the content of your stolen letters was entirely unintended. We want it on record that we do not consider ourselves superior to you and your family in any way, and are, in fact, entirely sympathetic to the underlying cause that the letters pertain to. And you thought this letter couldn't get more incriminating for us. Again, we feel guilty as sin, and only time will tell if the financial recompense will outweigh our culpability. Even though you will never hear from us again, we hope this parting letter will result in you thinking of us and our dealings, if not favorably, at least sympathetically. Sorry for the inconvenience. Forever Anonymous, X. So, okay. First things first. If this message is not a forgery written by Herbert Sinclair, then the writing in this game has fucking crossed an unredeemable line for me. Like, hello, yes, I'm the criminal who stole from you. Let me make sure that I use the word extort here in this letter. And, like, fucking... Who did he deal with? Dr. Claw?
No, because Dr. Claw was succinct.
I guess so.
So here's the thing.
That sucked
we were led
and was
to
bad.
believe that
I did think there was going to be a sanctum key in that safe. I'm going to tell you.
yeah.
So there's what is the line that the line is something about a king.
A king and his throne.
Yeah, and based on that, because this is the only what?
There is one throne.
Oh my god. I'll draft the fucking lavatory if it comes up. All right.
What was in the lavatory? You seem really annoyed with me when I'm having a eureka moment, and I don't appreciate
But it's
that.
not a eureka moment, it's a bit, and it's not like one of your better bits.
It's not. No, that was not a bit. I legitimately just realized that a game as focused on puns and wordplay as this one is.
This game was written by a... I'm not going to say there's a 0% chance that they would do that wordplay, but I am going to say... No, you know what? I'm going to say I think there's a 0% chance that the person who wrote this game about this stuffy British child is going to make a, like... He's
I don't know if it's
British.
British.
Come on.
He's British coded.
Yes, he's British coded. You know he's British. This dining room is just facing really funny directions.
I'm trying to think how I can get us in trouble with like insulting the British, and I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be the dining room, right? It's just like it's in a funny spot.
Everything else is really awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. What am I getting? Oh, you know what? The lunchbox is made of metal, is what it is. Ah, candles in here too. There's actually kind of a lot of places where you could light some candles. Okay, I think the commissary is a thing I would very much like to see. Come on, magnifying glass. Indeed. Also a shovel while we're here for our trouble.
Yeah.
And you know what? Till I know that I don't need them, they could be useful. So let's go back to the foundation, do a little bit of digging, and see if we can't pull a room that points northward. Okay, not the thing we need so much on this run. Wow, was it just the two this time? Guess so.
Honestly, I do understand your hesitancy about the bathroom thing. Because, do we have a vault key this run?
No. Hey,
That's
the morning
fine.
room.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Well, as much as like the vault is cool or whatever, the morning room is a new room.
Yeah.
But this is actually, we can't get further north, right? Like this ends the run.
It does, but we go back and we look at the book with a magnifying glass, and we get to see a
Start
new
with
room,
some
and we
extra
start with
stuff
gems
and-
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. We could take the dark room and still end up at a dead end because we don't know what we're drafting off the dark room.
And we still
Yeah.
can draft off the drawing room for hopefully a break room,
Maybe, yeah.
and maybe start with a card again.
All right. So, welcome to the morning room. It's pretty.
Okay.
Oh, salt
Yes.
shaker. That's the first time we've ever seen this outside the shop. At least I think so. It's the first time I've noticed it. I guess it wouldn't be terribly shocked if it turned out that it had been in rooms before. The Baron of Mount Hollingname's nephew, provisional heir. We've seen this whole article before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything new here. Sadly, this room also does not actually let us out onto the grounds. It is proving to be very challenging to get into the eastern yard.
I was saying, I understand why.
Guess this is it?
You think my bathroom thing is a bit, because first of all, I do a lot of bits, and
Yes.
secondly, like my inclination that there must be something to it because structurally it feels like it's not being used economically, like there should be something there. I understand that is, let's redraw. I understand that is damn.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I understand that that might not actually hold with this game where things aren't always logically structured like that every piece fits. So I understand where me approaching it from kind of that structural design aspect, as far as like, well, this piece needs to fit in some way, is maybe me holding on to certain elements of narrative and puzzle design that don't apply to this format, this structure.
No, I just think you're not listening to me when I point out to you that it already does. It's a red room that has "fuck you" written on it in big letters. That's the most Blueprints thing that is, like, from a design perspective, that's the most Blueprints thing you could possibly design. It's just a room where you pull it and you lose. That's...
Yeah.
That's this game, baby. Okay, so... We're going back to the library.
Right.
And I'm just looking over the map here. There's really nothing else to do. There's money in the conference room, but it's not worth it to go get it.
Yeah.
So... yeah, the fastest way is through the office again. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, like, I feel like I am being dismissed a little bit when I point this out, and
I'm sorry. I certainly don't mean to make you feel that way.
How did I go? I went the wrong way in the foundation.
I just have a
I was supposed to go this way.
You know, and I think generally, as much as I joke about being trouble, I tend to just follow your lead with most of these things.
Lavatory, closet, attic, furnace, solarium. That's a room we don't know about.
Okay, those are dead end rooms.
Hello, this is interesting. So, these are not all characters that whose names we're familiar with.
Yeah.
And then there is a departure sign over here. Is there a sign on every page of the book? Route 8, departures. Here there's a keep left. It doesn't look like there's any magnifiable details. Although sometimes this magnifying glass makes text, like, magically appear where there wasn't any. So it's a little hard to... 2 Tanner fork. And it's got little red epaulets going on.
That's a right turn sign.
Yeah, right turn sign. Uncle Aw, Draft the Sixes, Luna renamed, Tender Cipher. So Draft the Sixes was re-rendered to us as the fixed stars.
Right.
So are these other ones supposed to be the titles of other books that we have access to? Is it saying, like, these are important in some way? Uncle Aw is what? That one should be pretty easy to put together because it's so few letters and there's some weird ones. Yeah. But what was the name of the pump manual? It's like UNCW. There's an acronym at the beginning that I think contains several of these letters. Okay, stuff to think about. We don't need a magnifying glass for this one, and there is a dead end sign here. Here we have laying out the house. That sign's odd because that's not one you would see near roads, unless you're talking about it, unless it's supposed to be a street name. Each.
Okay.
Stop. Record each stop. And there's there's a piece of the metro map visible here.
Okay.
From the tunnel room downstairs. Okay. So here we go. Assume page count starts on title pages. Red page A word X, green page C word A, violet page B word Y, and blue page Z word X.
X.
The way. So it's library. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Seen all the signs? Dead end C, 2 major key? Huh. There's a white king on this page. So, this is a page from this book. The word that's circled is library.
Sure.
March from their covers all the way through. Search from their covers all the way through. If he found a new clue, he'd know what to do. So based on the color of the cover, you're looking for a particular word, maybe from each book. Assume page count starts on title pages. But how do we get a number? The way X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Like X is 1 and C is 6, or
Oh, maybe.
because it is with the arrows, it is making those a progression, right? The cover of this book is sort of reddish. So if it were page A word X, that is to say page 4 word 1, with the page count starting on title pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. The word for this book is he. And like maybe we're trying to get a sentence that is made up of the correct word from each book.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
The suspect is a key. The suspect is major. The suspect is a minor. The suspect is minor in blue. So provided that the rules of the house on the way, provided the rules of the house apply to this book, the suspect is minor is the only one of those that is true, and then also the suspect is a key, whatever that means.
Is that middle red note handwritten though?
Oh, you're right.
Also, on that previous page,
Yeah.
it has the MA and the JOR separated by a slash in that little note, and JOR means something.
Oh, you're right.
I
You're
saw
right. You're
that
right.
elsewhere in the book.
Yeah, JOR is name. Major meaning name, MA name. And if we look at the suspect list again, not the most obvious thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I pull up my list of people's names that I have been keeping here, I do not have an obvious MA, unfortunately. We don't have the last name, so I have that one of the maids might be named Mila, and no last name. So I don't know. That could be an MA. It's not super compelling.
There's also that thing where it said the subject is minor, minor, and if
Yeah,
lor and jor are
our
nor
words
might
then.
be as well.
Yeah.
We just don't know where to find it. Lor is word.
All right, so we're gonna have to try to run this idea on every book in the whole game now, right?
Or if we can find a way to determine, with those
Is this
titles that
cover
we
red? Its
have.
cover's purple.
That's purple.
It
Yeah.
looks like redder from the inside here a little bit, but that's absolutely purple, and as such, I grabbed the wrong word. If it's a violet cover, then page 5, word 2. So 1. See, I don't like that because
We-
page 5 is going to be an illustration, not text.
Do you think they're counting each leaf, each
Maybe,
spread as a page?
maybe.
That's one, and then 2,
3, 4,
3,
5.
4, 5.
And the word would be looked. I don't. That feels pretty arbitrary to me, and not the way any book anywhere is numbered. So
Right. No, I agree.
it doesn't. I don't like it. Okay, while we're here, before we bounce on this for today, let me grab my screenshot folder here. I definitely took a picture of the map of the subway tunnel. Here we go. The Orinda Aries train metro. Ah ha 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 ha. So I don't have this. I don't have this super ready to show the viewers, but I am going to show it to you. So the stops are arranged as major stops and minor stops, which didn't seem as significant at the time, but sure seems significant now. How hard would this be? Hold on, I can put this on screen. Let me do this real quick. I should have an image element up so that I can share stuff to the screen anyway. So make it so much easier for the viewers to know what we're talking about when we're talking about images. So that is this. Okay, yeah. So y'all can see major stops and minor stops here. And in fact, if I blow this up a little bit, let's get some clarity on this text. So major, there definitely are road signs down there, right? Like we saw some signs, but we can't just like run down the subway tracks, could we? I feel like I remember trying and not being able to. Tanner Fork is one of the stops, one of the major stops. And each of the stops is numbered. So this becomes numerical at some point. Right, because we have this side that says to Tanner Fork left. So if Tanner Fork is major stop number 10, that puts it here. Depart, keep left to Tanner Fork, then a right turn, dead end, record each stop on the way. If we just read the signs out loud, right?
Okay. Yeah. So, Route 8 departures
So
up to Tanner Fork.
And Mary was in on the thing here, so she knows what happened. Depart, keep left to Tanner Fork kind of doesn't make a huge amount of sense, though.
Yeah, that's where I'm running into trouble.
Unless they're not departing from 8. Well, two dead end. The eight's the destination, right? That's where they wanted to end up after the crime.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe. So depart, keep left to Tanner Fork. Like if you're traveling this, like down the line, like from 5 to 6 to start with, then you can keep left to Tanner Fork, and then at Tanner Fork you can take a right, go up that track that goes past 3 and 7, and then end up at the dead end.
So what? That's 5, 6, 1, 10.
3, 7, 8. Yeah, is like the route that is maybe described there. I don't know. Does that seem like anything to you?
I mean, I'm having trouble with it, but
All right, I'm gonna pull the image off the camera
wait,
here.
or is
okay.
it so Route 8 depart, so starting at 8 depart, keep left at Tanner Fork, but dead end is the name of a stop.
Oh, is that true? That is true.
Stop 13.
Stop 13 is actually called dead end. Okay, so you depart. Well, okay, so if you depart from 8 and it's saying keep left to Tanner Fork, then it's saying don't take the path that goes to 9, take the path that goes to 7.
Okay.
Keep left,
Yeah, so
7 Tanner Fork, and then so you end up with 8, 7,
3,
3, 10, 1, 13
10,
is
1,
the
13.
And if 8 is X, then maybe that's the sequence of 6 numbers. Right? It's using 8 the way. This is the way they went. XYZ ABC. So XYZ is 8, 7, 3, 10, 1, 13.
Okay. In which case, the Violet book is page. Wait, what's the letter?
Page 1, word Y. Page 1, word 7.
Okay.
Which, if we
Is
pull
the
this
title
image down
page.
again, page 1, word 7 would be sundial? Or no, sorry,
Sundial.
it would be, yeah. A New Clue by Marion Marigold. Sundial. There's a sundial in the apple orchard.
Okay.
Not that word by itself does anything for us, but, right, like it's something.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? What's your confidence level that we've got something there?
I think we got something. I'm excited. This is the stuff I think we both love about Blueprint.
Yeah, this is the good shit. This is the good shit for sure. So
and the rest of the game kind of gets in the way of it, and you think that's bad, and I think it's interesting.
I don't think the rest of the game gets in the way of it. I think just the deck thing gets in the way of it.
Okay.
Just the drafting. Yeah. Okay, so hold on. So this is all critically important. Can we see any other books today? We did pull the observatory, so we can go look at a copy of the Fixed Stars.
Right.
Which has a blue cover?
I mean, we'll find out. I think it's blue. Because it did remind me of the
were it blue,
H.G. Ray book.
Were it blue, it would be word Z, page Z, word X that we would care about.
Which should be page 3, word 8.
Page 3, word 8. Okay. Page 3, word 8. Go like that. Okay. Assembling these into assembling a word for each book in the world into a sentence is going to be something. It's actually kind of hard to see the cover. It looks kind of green here. But page 3 would be 1, 2, 3. Word 8 would be 4, 5, 6, 7. A.
Okay. And which green was the... Okay.
It looks green.
Yeah, so it's probably green because it would be the second word. If it was blue, it would be the last word, and A would be a weird last word in that sentence.
But see, it's blue here. Draft the sixes.
And Uncle Aw is a new clue.
Oh, sure. Yep. Sure. Okay. So draft the sixes is. So yeah, maybe it's not all the books. It's just these ones.
Is
right?
the red one the Red Prince?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Okay.
is. And Luna renamed. I don't quite have yet. I wish I could see the list of books that we're allowed to request. That would help a lot, I think.
It's not Realm and Ruin because there's no I. Right.
That book is titled Realm and Rune.
Oh, Realm and Ruin. Well then.
Yeah.
Realm
yeah,
and
I do believe that is in fact exactly what it is. Okay. So that book being blue, or at least being blue here by this reckoning, does mean that the word is A for that book?
Yeah. So Sundial A?
And it could be A sundial, right? Like, we don't know which order they're
It
intended
could be
to
it's
be
not
read
quite
in.
in order, yeah.
But A is not a very satisfying word meaning-wise. It could be. It could be. We can absolutely just look up what the word is in the Red Prince and one of the many times that we've read the Red Prince. But we're going to have to wait for... We're going to have to pull Realm and Ruin through the library to get... Because the one that's in the tunnels is not going to work for this. Because the front of the book is all fucked up. So we don't even know what page the copy that we have down there starts on. Okay, I think that all makes sense then.
Yeah.
Is there any value in going downstairs, or is there any value in doing anything else?
I don't think so. I think
Yeah, I don't think
we're
so
just
either.
done. I think this is a fruitful. I think we did good here, sweetie. I think we did a good job.
I mean, it was terrible, but like getting a book is enough information. Yeah, it was terrible as far as like the rest of the house goes. I mean,
Yeah, who cares about the rest of the house?
me. So sorry, was that not clear? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else to make of that, but I think that is probably where we're going to just go ahead and call it then.
Okay.
Sorry, I should press the call it a day button. I should do this before putting up the credit scroll.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Here's the thing about Mount Holly. It's a mid-sized villa, famously. Okay. I also wish we'd drawn a workshop because we did have, I believe, the tools to make the igniter. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Okay, now I'm going to put up the credit scroll. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. And thank you, Amabel, for helping me with these puzzles and stuff.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
I think the two of us working together did a much better job on that new clue than either of us would have done alone, probably.
Yeah.
All right. When y'all come back next time, we will be hopefully pulling a copy of Realm and Ruin, looking at Realm and Rune, and also, there's still lots of other stuff that we're still trying to track down. I still want to see 8 classrooms. We still need to do some Sanctum stuff. We do not now know what that one Sanctum clue refers to at all.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I have a theory, but it's pretty crappy.
All right, you earned a laugh. Congratulations. So come back next time for all of that stuff, and we'll see you then.